For the sake of every woman in this country, I pray to God that Kamala Harris wins. And if she doesn't, I don't know where I'm gonna go, but it's definitely not this country.
But I've been watching the polls religiously. I have, honestly, faith in humanity that things are going to work out the way they're supposed to. Vote, 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 vote.
Leading into the election, USF Votes, a student-led org, has provided opportunities for civic engagement and education around the election process throughout the USF campus.
I think it's so important to get the community on campus civically engaged with the election, because this election is a moment in the democratic process where everyone can put in a vote for their future.
I think the college age is really special because for a lot of students this is their first time getting to vote. And being able to provide resources for them to make the most informed decision that aligns with their values and morals is really special and exciting.
The hum of anticipation is rampant throughout campus as students are feeling
nervous? Going into election day, I'm still a little bit nervous, obviously.
Low-key, really nervous, but high-key energized because we're not going to have any regrets tomorrow. We're going to do everything today.
I feel like voting can be such an intimidating feeling, whereas like you either have the same viewpoints as everyone else or you don't.
This year I was like, I have to vote because I don't want 2016 to happen all over again.
I'm trying to feel a little bit optimistic and hopeful, but I'm definitely feeling nervous.
The one word that represents a lot of us is anxious.
Anxious.
I'm feeling really anxious. I woke up this morning and I felt very anxious.
And you can feel it in the atmosphere. People know what's at stake in this election.
But hopeful. Very, very hopeful, optimistic, but definitely very, very anxious.
I'm also excited. I'm hopeful. I think something I've not seen today is apathy.
I don't know. I think a lot of people think that we're gonna find out today what the results are, which is not gonna happen.
I feel like the fate lies in the ballots right now, but of course we're not going to find out tonight. I have hope since a lot of young voters have registered.
On USF's campus, where a large demographic of the voters are between the ages of 18 and 22, many of whom are voting for the first time in the election process, there are many things on the minds of USF students going into the election.
Obviously, women's reproductive rights.
So I voted for Kamala, and one of the biggest reasons is like reproductive rights. I'm a woman. I should choose what I want to do to my body.
After the whole Roe v. Wade thing happened, rights have just been kind of being stripped away one by one. So that's why I'm voting for the candidate I'm voting for, because I don't want that to happen anymore.
I voted for myself, I voted for my friends, I voted for my family, I voted for my future. Like,
women are going to be voting hopefully to support their own reproductive rights. I also think that the Arab population in America is going to be a very big deciding factor.
Israel and Palestine is one of the biggest things that at least I am thinking about.
Palestine and Gaza is on everybody's minds, and it's going to be a huge deciding factor in those key swing states.
I know for sure the genocide that's happening right now has been a really, really big thing amongst young voters. Obviously we have two competing politicians right now.
I don't think, people that want to support people in Gaza are seeing either candidate as a solution, and that can be isolating and can be alienating. And I can see like, well, I feel like I'm not helping either way I vote.
They try to remain very neutral to kind of accumulate like independents and moderates along with their party lines. It's very much so affecting them negatively.
I would say also immigration, big issue.
Key issues definitely are, if it's presidential, then yeah, it's like policies on immigration, right? This is a very diverse school. It's a very international school. How do either candidates approach the topic of race? How do voters feel represented, right?
I think national elections are what really garner attention. Primaries and midterms don't get as high of turnout rates historically as your presidential general elections do. Something like a third of San Francisco voters only make it down their ballot, and so having this opportunity to really help educate about those positions and the way they impact our lives is a very important aspect of civic engagement.
I think there's not a lot to be excited about nationally, but locally there's a lot of really good stuff. Like if Project 2025 happens because Trump becomes president, we in San Francisco have the right to protect our reproductive freedom. We have the right to protect same-sex marriage. There's a lot that's happening locally, so all politics is local, vote locally.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of people are talking about housing and businesses in the city. That seems to kind of be the polarizing topic. A lot of the conservative voters are leaning towards helping subsidize and stimulate small businesses, while a lot of our more progressive liberal voters are leaning towards housing. My candidate of choice supports both. A student canvasser for Connie Chan's District 1 campaign, working with IFTP and the Labor Union PAC down in downtown. I think like when it comes to local elections, something that's really important to keep in mind is that like the immediate changes that you want to see are oftentimes able to happen if you vote for positions closest to you immediately.
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I'm a candidate for San Francisco District Attorney, and we're out here passing out the League of Pissed Off Voter Guides with some of my information out there to make sure that everyone's as informed as they can be in this very important election, not just in our city, of course, but our state and our country. I mean, we need to get out the youth vote. I mean, that's why I'm spending part of my election day here at USF. We want to make sure that the next generation really understands that their vote matters, that your vote cast will determine the future of the city, of the state, of this country. And I would be the youngest district attorney elected in the United States, and I think that's important.